beware, you're in for a scare.
Hello, I'm Stephanie, and this is Anastasia. She's dying laughing. I'm going to put some bloopers in on this video because you're going to have to see what I deal with trying to get this video started every time because this is Miss Giggle Box. Okay, so today's movie that we're going to be talking about is the Green Inferno, and it's honestly not funny at all.
It's not
At all. So
I
don't know why she's laughing. But this was directed by Eli Roth, and it says it was put out in 2013. I think it was a little bit later than that. That may be when he did the movie, but that's not when it came out. But I'm not positive. I do know that it is on Showtime, I believe. Is it Showtime or is it the movie channel?
I think we saw it on Showtime.
I think it was Showtime also.
Yeah.
She's literally crying. She's laughing so much.
I'm trying not to. Okay.
Okay.
I
So, this movie was something that I kind of heard rumors about, and I kind of knew what to expect a little bit. It was going to be pretty brutal, I guess is a good word. Do you think brutal is a good word for this movie?
I mean, I guess, but it's doesn't give it justice about how brutal it is.
So yeah, so I definitely say that this has a big, not just a gore factor because it's not super bloody, but it's very realistic, and I would definitely say this is a movie to kind of be careful. I don't think it's a movie for younger horror movie watchers. Or while you're eating. Or if you're super sensitive to certain things, I would just say not the movie for you. Now you may say Anastasia is she's fixing to be 16, so she could be considered a younger viewer. But she's seen enough horror movies. I think she's cool, So just use your best judgment on that. The basis of the movie is a group of people at a college are going to the rainforest to protest the cutting down of trees that will actually interfere with villages and animals and stuff. Yeah, destroy part of the rainforest.
They were probably gonna kill the natives there if they got in their way.
I don't know what they were gonna do with the natives, but yeah, I mean they could have. Maybe they did. I don't remember. Did they say they were going to do that, or I they were going to?
I think that's what they were going to do if they refused to leave the village.
Oh, okay. So. And so basically, you have this group of activists, and then the main story was kind of centered around this girl who was kind of invited in to them because she was rich. Her dad was a senator, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's what he was. So he was a very powerful
Yeah, he was a powerful man. And they purposely, wanted her, and it was kind of, crappy what they planned to do. They planned to actually, just, have her face be, involved in it because she was a senator's daughter, and she didn't know that going in.
So, they basically used her and, risked her life.
Exactly. Now, I do think, some of that, I think that, because they came and they kind of protested in front of people that were cutting down the trees. So, I do think, with her being prominent and they were, live streaming it, that it probably did save her life because, I mean, the people did come at them with guns. Well, all of this is not necessarily the worst part of the movie. That's kind of this is more like a thriller. It's not a horror movie. And then they get in the plane to go back home, and it crashes. Unfortunately, later they actually say that they think that the people planned for the plane to crash.
That it was sabotage.
Yeah, which is really, really scary.
Yeah.
And so the plane crash actually alerted the natives
And like during when that happened, like a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people died.
Which
during
were
the
the
plane.
lucky ones.
Yeah, I actually think
they were the lucky
ones.
ones.
And that's pretty bad to say that the people that died in the plane crash were the lucky ones, but they kind of were.
They were.
Yeah.
I'd rather die that way than have the others die.
Right. So, like I said, the plane crash did alert the natives who came, and so you don't really know like what's going on. Now, as far as like the natives, like yes, they've never really been. They don't speak English. They have been in their like little section of the world. They had their customs, so it's like they were like the bad people of the movie.
But that's just
their culture, right? So of course they're cannibals.
Yeah.
And they eat. Right off, they eat one of them who also is like the chunky person of the group, but he was also like really nice.
Yeah, he was like the nicest in my opinion.
Yeah, he was the nicest in my opinion. And then they put like all the other people in a cage, and they kind of, you know, slowly, I think in that situation you do kind of see like who is good and who is bad. And there is definitely like an evil person who I think personally is worse than even the natives.
Yeah.
Because he is in the group, and he actually winds up getting a couple of them killed.
Just to save himself.
Just to save himself. And in fact, one of the cases, if he hadn't have done that, like all of them may have gotten out.
Yeah.
So I think,
really messed up.
Exactly. So that just kind of really like aggravates me. But there's a lot of kind of brutality. There's, you know, some weirdness where there's decapitation. There's almost like a female mutilation scene, which to me, I was the most worried about that because that's the scene that I'd heard about.
Yeah.
I did not know that they did not actually like complete it. I was worried that they did. Because that's kind of like all you really heard about the hype of the movie.
Yeah, like throughout the whole movie.
We were like worried about that scene.
Yeah, because they mentioned it in the beginning and throughout the whole thing. When it was happening, like in motion, you was like, oh yeah, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, so we were ready to like, oh no, I can't watch this, you know. Fortunately, it didn't actually like occur.
Thankfully.
Yes, but it's like it gets to the point that it almost does. So I feel like if you have like a severe kind of issue, maybe it's not something that you need to watch.
Yeah.
But to me, the most interesting part is the end.
Yeah, I really didn't like the end.
You didn't like the end? Okay, so let's just put it this way, that there's only one person that survives, and it is the rich girl who gets away.
Course.
Yeah. But for some reason, she tells everyone that the natives were friendly.
Yeah.
And that everyone else died in the plane crash.
And the natives helped her and sent her.
And I don't understand. I don't understand why, unless if that's her way of protecting so like nobody will go and take down the forest and they won't be involved in those natives.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure.
That could have been her plan, or
there was one native that did help her escape.
True.
So I don't know if she was just trying to pay that native back. But that was the only part of the movie that I was like, I don't get why she did that. So yeah, if you have seen the movie, like let us know what you think.
Tell us what you think, and also like I really didn't like when like the sister called.
Oh yeah, so like the very end is that.
That's the part that I didn't like.
You didn't like. Okay, so the bad guy who we talked about, who I personally think is actually the evil person of this whole movie.
He is.
Because there's a few
Hands
facts.
down, he is.
Yes, I'm gonna leave that out because that'll be like little snippets. I know we kind of like gave away the ending, but that'll be like little snippets to watch, like who that evil person is. He is actually alive when the girl gets out of the village. So technically there's 2 survivors, but you pretty much are sure that he will be eaten, you know, at some point. But at the very end of the movie, his sister calls, and then there's been like satellite footage of him. I don't remember, was it of him or was it of like...
It was of him wandering in the woods.
Okay, of him wandering in the
escaped,
woods.
apparently.
Right.
Somehow.
So I don't know if that means there's going to be like a second one or what, but yeah, that was kind of interesting. Now I will say, like, Eli Roth is known for kind of like brutal movies, like Cannibal Holocaust, I think that's the name of that one. I haven't seen that one, but he definitely likes to like be in your face with his movies and like kind of like hardcore horror, but like more realistic kind of things, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
But it's more like, I would definitely say it's not like something that is like stylized, you know, it's not something that's like visually appealing. It's more like brutal.
Very brutal.
In your face kind of stuff. You know. Like, because what was that movie? Like, they look like people, or they used to be people. That was like very, that was very stylized, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there wasn't like a whole lot of brutality. But it was just like kind of different like scenes and interesting like angles, where this is just kind of like it's like daylight mostly. It's like, you know, you see all the blood, you see all the everything. So it's, I don't know, it's very different. So like, how do you feel about this movie? Is it, for me personally, I think it's a movie that I am glad I watched.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would ever watch it again. It's not something like I'd be like, oh yes, you need to watch this movie. Like, I think people, if you like horror, like, watch the movie. But it's not something I'd be like, oh yeah, that is such a good movie.
Yeah, but I really felt like it was a good movie. Mm-hmm. But like you said, it's like a movie that you only want to watch once, and it kind of sticks with you.
It does. It does. Because to me, that kind of stuff, things that could really happen, is so scary to me.
Yeah, because like
that could happen. Like anything like where like you have like serial killer stuff, or I mean, this isn't even serial killer, but you can't even really blame the natives because
because that's just the way they live.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
to the cows were like the killers.
Exactly.
That's
it's just like we were their cows, basically.
Yeah, but I really did like they had like a lesbian couple in there.
They did.
So
they did. That was I enjoyed that too. I didn't like when they died though.
Yeah.
So that
I didn't like it either, but like.
Yeah, I liked that they.
I
know.
That was so sad.
It was very sad. But I like that people are, and that's a good point. Because really, like in these videos, we can talk about whatever. I like that there are more LGBT people that are in movies, and not just horror movies, but like mainstream movies.
Yeah.
And, you know, everything. So I appreciate that.
I did too.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely if you've seen this movie, let us know down below what are your thoughts. Like, what do you think? Do you think there's going to be a second one?
I kind of hope so, but yet again, I don't.
I would watch the second one.
I would, but then again, I'll be kind of like worried that it's going to be more.
Yeah, I just hope that the girl doesn't go back, because that would be,
She'd be
imagine.
Stupid.
I would never go back to no, I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Got the scars, I'm good.
Scarred for life, had nightmares, I'm good.
Yeah, because I would imagine she would have PTSD, she would have to, right?
I mean, I think it showed at the end she was taking pills.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure. Like, I would have some severe problems. But yeah, be sure to check out all our links down below. I have a link for my makeup channel. Well, really, like, my main channel is not just makeup anymore. It used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do a bunch of stuff on there. We have a Tumblr. And just to check out all those, we will talk to you guys later. And remember, do not go into the jungle and mess with natives, because they could be cannibals.